So I don't believe in the idea of a superfood, but there is one particular food that I recommend to all of my clients, and it's something that I eat every single day and have eaten every single day for decades now. And it's also helped me maintain a certain degree of leanness all year round for all these years, both when I was competing as a natural bodybuilder to where I am today in my 50th year, consistently maintaining a low body fat percentage. So you're asking, what food could that possibly be? And the answer is oat bran cereal. Now, oat bran cereal right there doesn't sound to be tremendously sensational, but if your focus is on fat loss, it can be invaluable in helping you regulate your energy intake. And it's also crucial for those focused on building muscle while maintaining a lean physique, as it helps you regulate your appetite and stay on point with your eating choices. And it is the cornerstone of the carbohydrate intake for my diet. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why I value oat bran cereal so much and why I recommend it to every single one of my clients and why I recommend it to you. So stay tuned. Let's talk more about this. So in this video, we're talking about oat bran cereal, the #1 food recommendation that I have for every single one of my clients that I eat every single day and I recommend highly for you. But before I go any further, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, especially those who used to be a one-stop place for anyone interested in training naturally and without drugs. Thanks so much for tuning in, and do be sure to like, subscribe, and you hit that bell as well so you're first in line to get the new content as it comes out. Now, before I go any further, this is not an advertisement in any shape or form for any particular brand of oat bran cereal, and I don't really believe in endorsements, as I believe my job is to pass on to you as much as possible information that is not biased. Now, a lot of fitness influencers are huge on endorsing this and endorsing that. That's not how I work. I work on the idea of I have been really privileged and blessed to have learned so much about nutrition. And as I always say, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I try my best to pass it on because I know for a fact how much it can help you in your quest to achieve your goals. And I don't believe in superfoods, but if there was a superfood, it probably would be oat bran cereal. So like anything else, my dietary choices are as a result of a progression. When I first started training, I would eat cream of wheat because that's what was available to me growing up in Trinidad. And I realized very early on that even though it was a good source of carbohydrates, the fiber intake wasn't very high and it was pretty highly processed. And so I switched over to oatmeal, which was much higher in fiber and something I ate for the next 15 or so years. Every single day was my breakfast. And of note, I always have breakfast. And I also recommend it to all of my clients because it provides a significant amount of fiber, which is really important in your diet, and a substantial amount of slow burning carbs. Now, bear in mind, most of my personal training clients aren't bodybuilders. They're people who are trying to get into better shape and mostly lose weight. And as far as weight loss is concerned, what I found was those who I had front-loading the calories with a really high fiber intake in the morning with oatmeal, and then having smaller and smaller meals as days went by in conjunction with the high intensity training that they do, had phenomenal results. In my second year as a personal trainer, I had my first person lose 100 pounds, which was remarkable. And over the years, I've had several clients lose over 100 pounds following this particular protocol. But as good as oatmeal was, providing a really good source of slow burning carbohydrates that gives you energy throughout the entire day, and also very importantly, makes you not as hungry and not as susceptible to what I call the end of day demons. The end of day demons is that urge that you tend to get to eat the wrong things, as most people tend to overeat and or eat the wrong foods, not so much during the day, but at the end of the day. And I found that when I made sure that their fiber intakes were really high, especially with a really high start to their days, that those cravings that they were struggling with at the end of the day tended to be a lot less. And they were far more successful with their weight loss efforts. But it wasn't just something that worked for those focused on weight loss, in that for myself as a bodybuilder, having oatmeal in the morning made a tremendous difference in my overall energy. And I found that I had a marked reduction in my overall performance when I didn't have oatmeal in the morning. So all was going well. oatmeal every single day, first thing in the morning, usually with eggs and fruit. And one day I was in the supermarket and I saw oat bran cereal and I didn't exactly know what it was. And I took a look at the nutrition and I realized that it was actually higher in fiber than oatmeal. And I figured, well, let's give this a shot. And I did. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the taste, I loved the texture, and the fact it was even higher in fiber than oatmeal meant that it would be a perfect recommendation for my clients as well. And so we all switched from oatmeal to oat bran cereal. And to be honest, there are a lot of people out there who don't like the consistency of oatmeal, but seem to be a lot more tolerant of oat bran cereal. Now, the cornerstone of my nutritional philosophy comes from our evolutionary past. And one of the things that I think is overlooked is the fact that our ancestors also had a dramatically higher fiber intake. In fact, the average human ancestral hunter-gatherer had a fiber intake somewhere around 100 grams of fiber per day. That's quite a lot when you think about the fact that the average American averages somewhere around 15 grams of fiber per day. And working with a lot of natural bodybuilders over the years, they tend to not be eating that much in terms of fiber because their focus is always on so much protein. And I take in a significant amount of fiber, and it's something that I had to work up to over the years and makes a tremendous difference, not only in my overall energy level, but I think it's one of the reasons why that I'm able to never have cheat meals and never have these cravings that most people find to be uncontrollable. In fact, I'll consume as much as a half a bag of oat bran cereal per day. Now, I'm not telling you should be going out there and eating that much oat bran cereal every single day.
No way.
What these numbers should do, however, is inform you of the fact that you should be considering how much fiber you're getting in every single day. And oat bran cereal, being such a high fiber source, is one of the most efficient ways of doing it. And without oat bran cereal, it'd be really difficult for me to get that much fiber every single day, to be honest. Now, I'm a little bit on the hardcore side because I only eat oat bran cereal with water. But you can feel free to put vanilla in there, you can put berries in there, you can put fruit in there. Some of my clients even mix their eggs with the oat bran cereal. It doesn't necessarily have to be plain, but be very careful. If you start putting things like sugar and milk in there, you're starting to defeat the whole purpose of it being a healthy food, as it's really easy to take something that's good for you and ruin it. So make sure you don't. Now, I've written a lot about oat bran cereal, and in the links below you can get access to an article on my blog that goes into even more detail about this food that I eat every single day, and can't stress enough how important fiber is, not just for helping you stave off cravings, but also for your overall health. Remember, it's not just about building muscle and losing fat. It's about having a healthy and sustainable diet that's going to keep you going as the years go by. So pick up some oat bran cereal. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, Excelsior.